the pair.
Listen to the people. Listen to humanity. Listen to the parrot. Parrot TV. Parrot TV. Parrot TV. Parrot TV. Parrot TV. Parrot. Listen to the people. Listen to humanity. Listen to the parrot. Parrot TV. Parrot TV. Parrot TV. Parrot TV. Parrot TV. Listen to the people. Listen to humanity. Listen to the parrot.
Undoubtedly, Africa is the best tourism destination on Earth. The continent is blessed with the most conducive atmosphere. To feel and enjoy these blessings, join the most productive one-week tour of the continent organized by Daylight Africa every September 2nd to September 9th to see beyond the fallacies about Africa on the mainstream media. Contact us at daylightafrica@gmail.com or call 718-822-5555. Daylight Africa. Revolutionizing tourism industries in Africa.
Hello, welcome to World Inkers Network, a Parrot TV program. I'm Dustin Pickering, your noble and honest host as always. Today we have Elizabeth Ogunmodede. She is a Nigerian teen author and entrepreneur, and we're going to discuss entrepreneurship as well as being an author in Nigeria. So this ought to be a fascinating and intriguing conversation. I'm glad you are joining us today. Subscribe to our channel if you have not already to find updates on future programming. And before we get started with the conversation, I'm going to play you a few words of praise for Elizabeth from her peers and friends and so forth. So we're going to see this in just a second. I'm going to pull this up, and here we go.
If you know me, you know Elizabeth. I love her. I love her family, and that goes for Tim as well. We are incredibly proud to have been a part of Elizabeth's journey so far, and she'll continue to branch out with her writing and her goals. And as we all know, the world is waiting for her. She is a shining example.
I think of you as an earthly phenomena. You are bright, you are brilliant, you're everything. And those of us in the US, we remember where we were when President Kennedy was shot, when Martin Luther King Jr. was shot. I got to tell you, I remember exactly where I was the first time I heard this brilliant poet's voice. We were at an open mic. Elizabeth and her father were there. She read her first expression and my heart melted.
Trying to set up a poetry group, I was really interested in having a really eclectic group, but an international flavor. And that's where I ran across Elizabeth. And I got to tell you, I was blown away with how young she was, to be honest with you. I couldn't believe. I think at that time, I think she already had 3 books under her credit. And I was like, wow.
So that's when we first met Elizabeth. And the interesting thing is, with Elizabeth, she is one of those prolific writers and a great talents. And, you know, when I tell people, oh, she's 16 or this is her age, this is what she's done, people cannot believe it. You know, once in a lifetime comes someone like Elizabeth.
When I first met Elizabeth online and I knew her age, I thought, well, she's looking for someone to be her mentor. And it wasn't long until I realized that she is a very accomplished poet, and she is an inspiration to all of us. So she, in many ways, has become our mentor as well.
I know that I'm a huge fan, and I support Elizabeth. I always have. And then she has so many different projects. And my sister and I actually did an interview with Elizabeth on author lifestyle. But prior to that, I knew Elizabeth. I just can't recall how I knew her. And I'm so happy for her. And this is a very exciting time for her. And she's a tremendous talent. And I want the best for her. And I hope she enjoys all of this because it's well deserved.
I want to say how I met you, and it was through Guardians of the Quill. People were celebrating you, and I said, who is this wonderful, wonderful poet? And I realized I know you because you're writing poems here, and I love them. Knowing you is a gift. You are an amazing young poet, a sweet 16 for sure. Knowing you is a gift. You are an amazing young poet, a sweet 16 for sure.
I first met Elizabeth, I guess maybe not quite a year ago or close to a year ago, through Robert Bradley, a good friend of mine. And we at Wildfire Publications, myself, and the president, Susan Joyner Stumpf, we were lucky enough to publish her book, Tremendous Words, and I was fortunate enough to edit the book, so I got a chance to read it before anybody else. And except for Elizabeth, of course, because she wrote them.
So congratulations, I'm so proud of you. You're
so
such you're a teenage sensation, and
Thank
that's
you.
really, you're such a brilliant literary artist, and so proud of you.
Okay, Elizabeth. What can we say about Elizabeth that we haven't already said? Amazing, wonderful, prolific, beautiful, inside and out. A future star? No, a star today. I can only hope to know what in the world's going to happen next. Wow. I don't know. I just don't know, but I'm just glad that we're part of the ride. And I hope that you have nothing but wonderful things come from this. And I'm sure you will.
Welcome back to the program. We'll on the program. So welcome to our wonderful program as a featured guest. So tell us, how does it feel to hear so many wonderful words of praise from friends and peers and publishers all across the world?
It is amazing. I love that feeling, and I am so grateful. I am always grateful. You know, I did myself very special, and I did myself lucky. Yes, I did myself very lucky to have this amount of love, support, affection from so many people around the world. On the literary community, on the literary scene, I have come to have so many lovely bonds with people around the world, in the USA, in the UK, in Asia, and they are my family. Yes, they are my family. They are my mother figure, my father figure, my sisters, my brothers, and they are all so loving. And it is a gift, yes, the gift of love, and it keeps me going. It keeps pushing me, and I am always grateful.
It's wonderful. It keeps you motivated to hear that others are appreciating who you are and what you're doing, and it just makes you feel like, you know, something you're doing is relevant to the world. And so, I mean, what prompted you to begin this journey of authorship and coming out into the world as a teen entrepreneur?
Okay, it's a long story, but I'll try my best to make it short. So I believe that many people who know me know that I started writing when I was 8 years old. And it didn't just begin that way. I have always had my #1 supporter, my dad, Richard Ogunmodede. And when I was young, my dad would always buy me so many books. amazing books by Nigerian authors and other authors around the world, foreign authors. When I was in primary school, I had already read works by popular Nigerian authors like Wole Soyinka, and he writes amazing plays, yes, and they were quite advanced for my age. But then my dad would always be with me, reading to me and explaining these books to me. And I, besides Professor Wole Soyinka's works, I read works by the renowned Chimamanda of Shakespearean plays. And I also went ahead to read works by Enid Blyton and Diana Wynne Jones and some other lovely children books. And from that moment, I I was getting keyed into this life. Yes, that then around when I was 8 years old. Yes, when I was 8, I developed the passion for writing. Some people who know me know that in my family, my extended family, the Bright, we have this genetics for literature, poetry per se. Yes, we write poetry in our family, and we have this very fantastic collection of poems titled Wisdom and Voices, and it's really beautiful. And so I developed the passion for writing, and my dad was also a writer. When I started writing, he also had to learn how to write in order to also put me through and support me. And when I was 8, like I said, I started writing, and that was what brought about this book, Lessons from Grandma. It was my first story, 10 short stories in this book, and very fantastic. And it's been used in the Nigerian schools, in the
Oh, wow.
Nigerian secondary schools by seventh graders in the educational system. Yes, and
Wonderful.
I feel really proud of my work because I was just in primary school at 8 years old when I wrote this, and it's been used in the Nigerian secondary schools by seventh graders. And so, well, I started writing over time. I wrote lovely books, and this is my newest publication, The Beauty of Words, published by Prolific Pulse Press LLC. And I have this here, Tremendous Words, published by Wildfire Publications LLC. And these two books are 2024 publications. They were published in 2024, and they are really, really lovely books. They have been bought by people around the world, and they have testified to the amazing poetry. And these books here were published in 2022, still by Prolific Pulse Press LLC. Ladder to the Top, a book of prose and poetry for young adults, and Ladder to the Top, a book of prose for young adults. And here I have another book titled I Love to Go to School, but that's a Kindle version, so I don't have that here. And I also have my magazine, the first edition of my magazine, the Author Lifestyle and Book Talk magazine. And so, well, talking about the Author Lifestyle and Book Talk magazine is where I would like to talk about my entrepreneurship. Like I said, I've been writing since I was 8 years old, and now with the support of my dad, who was able to channel me through the right track, he had always helped me to maintain this brand name called Eye Opener Productions. When I in 2020, when I published I Love to Go to School, a self-published book, I used that name as my publication imprint, Eye Opener Productions. And over time, I tried to maintain Eye Opener Productions, publicizing that brand name. And just in 2024, my dad helped to get Eye Opener Productions registered by the Corporate Affairs Commission of Nigeria. And so Eye Opener Productions Global Network Limited is a registered company by the Corporate Affairs Commission and duly approved by the Federal Ministry of Nigeria, Federal Government of Nigeria, sorry. So at about that time, I was ready to publish my magazine. Yes. And now I felt that as a young Nigerian, as a teenager, generally around the world, I wanted to lead by example. I wanted to be a shining star. My mentor says a shining star. I wanted to be somebody who would be appreciated for the talents I have for my writing. And over time I got a lot of skills. Yes, I learned how to to design websites. I'm a website developer. I'm a product designer. I I am a graphic designer. I also publish. My company, Ayubna Production, is a publishing firm. I do UI UX design, yes, app and websites, UI UX, yes, and ghostwriting, yes. So all these things put together was what also brought about Ayubna Productions Global Network Limited. And today, I am proud to say I am an entrepreneur, a teen entrepreneur at the age of 16 with my own registered company. And it's thanks to my dad. He has been so supportive, so supportive. And without the support of other amazing authors around the world, in the USA, in the UK, who have been promoting me and supporting me, everything I've done wouldn't have been possible. But I am still looking at other amazing things that I can also do with my brand here in Nigeria. And when it's all ready, I just hope there'll be more celebration and ovation. So that's just all about me being a teen entrepreneur.
So, what is the process of becoming an entrepreneur in Nigeria? You say you registered the business, and I mean, what ways do you promote it, and how do you, I mean, what kind of responses do you get from your people that you're speaking with on promotion?
Okay. Presently, I have just been focused on my magazine production and
Hmm.
publishing. Yes, publishing other authors and myself. Well, under my brand, Eye Opener Productions Global Network Limited, I have self-published my book. I have published my dad's short story, and I have also published a lovely book titled Kids for Young Goats, Not for God's Heritage, written by a woman, a Nigerian author, Madam Marcella A.P. Scholar Praisworth. And so Madam Marcella A.P. Scholar Praisworth was sort of my first client, yes, my first publishing client. And she was very, very receptive. Yes, she was surprised at the talents I possessed, and she said she was willing to give me a try to get her work published by my brand. And when I was done, she actually liked my work, and so far she has also kept to my network, promoting me and trying her best to be a part of this journey. And so I think in the publishing aspect of this entrepreneurship, it has actually been lovely because she tries to also promote me, and I do same when I go to events as motivational speaker or as a coach, well, literary coach. I try to promote my brand. And in the areas of mentorship, I also mentor teenagers, and I mentor children, yes, who have this passion for writing, and I try to instill the zeal to be a positive figure and somebody to reckon with. And I train them on writing, on poetry, on short story writing, and I have some proteges, namely Amirat Mohammed. Yes, she's a Nigerian, she's a teenager, and she's fantastic. I introduced her to the literary world, and people were receptive of her, and I felt really good because I could also help somebody feel the joy and the happy feelings of being celebrated. And I have another mentor, another protege, and I've also helped her to develop a passion for poetry. When when I met Faith in 2023, May 27th, 2023. Yes, Faith was not into poetry writing. Faith writes short stories. But then I was the 2023 guest speaker at the Children's Parliament in my state, Ondo State, Nigeria, and I was the invited guest lecturer at the 2023 International Children's Day celebration in my state. And then after I delivered my lecture, she had to approach me and she said she would love to be mentored by me. And then when I introduced her to poetry, Faith was she grabbed everything rapidly, and before the end of the month, she was recognized by the first lady of our state, the then first lady of our state, and it was overwhelming. And so, mentorship using my brand has also been one of the genres of the subgenres of my brand, Eye Opener Productions Global Network Limited. And I think I also venture, yes, into the magazine production, like I said here, and it involves hosting a show on authors, the author lifestyle, and a book talk show where I've interviewed certain authors and had them here, published here, and poems, artworks. It's a very beautiful magazine, really amazing and colorful, really beautiful. But overall, I just believe that, like I said, I am actually very lucky to have received so much support, not only on the international scene, but here in Nigeria. And like I said, I'm trying to spread my wings here in Nigeria. And when it's time, I will be very delighted to share the good news with my friends, family, and supporters.
Absolutely, it sounds like you've had a long journey for for a young age. You've really produced a body of work and a phenomenal amount of entrepreneurship. When I remember when I was 16, I was just still writing in my notebooks. So I was, I'm really pleased to see that you're promoting poetry, especially. So, is that your main focus is poetry, or do you branch out into other forms of literature? You've done short stories. I mean, do you like poetry most of all, or?
Well, that's a question that I'm not being asked often, but I would like to say that when I started writing prose. This book is a collection of prose book, lessons from grandma. And it was just about when I was 10 years old that I started writing poetry. So from the onset, I was prose oriented because I read more prose works than I read poetry. But when I was 10 years old, I think it's just the poetic genes in our family. It just couldn't leave me. And so I started writing poetry. And I had a book coach. Here in Nigeria, Mr. Somi Ojo, and it was some years back. And when he read those poems, he was, should I say, intrigued. And he said he thought that I was a better poetry writer than I was a story writer. And he said I should keep writing my poetry and keep trying to work on my poetic style. And that was what I did. So presently, I have 2 books of poetry, just poetry. And here I have a collection of prose. Yes, it's a prose work, but it has a little flavor of poetry, really fantastic book. And here we have prose works. So just 2 prose works. And so it seems like I'm actually getting more in tune with my poetry. And I have fallen in love with poetry, and I'm trying my best to also get people to love poetry, because surprisingly here in Nigeria, people do not love poetry the way they love reading prose works or dramas. And so I'm trying to get people to fall in love with poetry like I have. And my dad also is a poet, and my family, we are a family of poets, and it's really amazing. Yes, it's really amazing. And I have other prose projects. Yes, I'm trying to work on my 8th book. That will be my 8th book. It's going to be titled Halloween in Africa. The first book in my Fantasy of the Realm series. So it's going to be a fantasy book, and it's going to be published in 2026, hopefully. And I'm trying my best to thrill the world with that book. That's it.
Wonderful. We'll take a brief break, but we'll come right back with Elizabeth and her words and her fantastic works of art.
Experience the rhythm of Africa come alive at Daylight Africa Week 2023 in Senegal. Join us for the groundbreaking Transatlantic Family Reunification Forum, where hearts unite and stories of resilience span continents. Journey through the rich culture of Dakar, Gorée Island, and St. Louis, where the echoes of the past shape our future. Lights, camera, action. Be captivated by the film screening and cinema forum, a celebration of African American women in cinema in collaboration with Daylight Africa. Network with visionaries and trailblazers during our social and economic networking events. Together, we'll build bridges to a brighter future. Daylight Africa Week 2023 in Senegal. An unforgettable journey awaits you from September 2nd to 10th. Reserve your spot now at www.daylightafrica.org. Terms and conditions apply. Events are subject to change.
Welcome back to World Linkers Network. Please subscribe to our channel if you have not already. We have Elizabeth Ogunmodede today. She's a Nigerian teen author and entrepreneur. Would you like to share a few of your poems with us, or a few of your words?
Yes, absolutely. Okay, so I would like to read from The Beauty of Words. I think I'll just share one poem from The Beauty of Words and another from Tremendous Words, if that's all right. Okay.
Sure.
Let's see. Trying to pick a lovely poem here. So I think I'm just going to read the last poem in this book. It's titled Meeting a Poet. I emerged from the glorious August in the south of my country, in a season so cold, full of poetic license, 10 and 6 years ago, though I never knew, not after a decade or so, when I blessed my paper with ink, and it was not so bad for a humble beginning. Poetry, I say, is song-like and filled with unimaginable beauty that lies deep in the poem. I adore poetry and worship literature wholeheartedly. I was born a poet, a lover of music and books. I am called Elizabeth, and I am born to be a star. The Beauty of Words, published by Prolific Pulse Press LLC. Yes, Prolific Pulse Press LLC. And up next, I'm going to read from Tremendous Words, published by Wildfire Publications LLC. So I'm going to pick a poem here. Let's see. Yes, I think I'll read this poem titled The Most Beautiful Place. The fantasy of Paris measures less your elegance. I see the brilliant colors of the rainbow splotched on your heart, as beautiful as a blooming starry night. When I hold your gaze and return your smile, all I see is beauty beyond your looks. My heart melts with gratitude for all your love and sweet attitude, fluttering a dance to your song of kindness. I've toured beautiful places, none as fabulous as your heart, a place that radiates light to me in the deep dark. In your heart I have found beauty, none coveted in warm love, with a duty to make our bond stronger. When our hearts reach for one another, I am assured that I could reach for the stars, cause they are promises of better times from the most beautiful place. Okay, I would like to mention that this book's The Beauty of Words and The Beauty of Words here and Tremendous Words. The book cover designs were done by Iopna Productions, and they are really lovely. Done by me particularly, but well, by my brand Iopna Productions, Global Network Limited, and colorful designs here. And so, Iopna Productions also offers fantastic book cover designs.
So you're really a wide expanse of talents, and I noticed in your, especially in the last poem, you're kind of like you have this appreciation of beauty and beautiful places and beautiful things, and I think that's Eye Opener Productions, and thinking of like beauty opening your eye, I mean it's a really fantastic
Yes.
you have a nice, really a beautiful soul and heart to be able to recognize the and appreciate a moment in life. I think that's
Thank
really
you.
particularly something interesting about you, and that you're developing more skills as you go along. I mean, you're developing a lot of talents and knack for things that you're just a very original and inspiring person to listen to. So I commend you on that. What obstacles do you
Thank
think
you.
you have faced in creating a brand for yourself and writing your poetry and your short fiction and so forth? What obstacles do you feel that you have faced that you've overcome?
Okay, so well, looking back at it all, let's talk about my poetry first of all. Writing poetry is
Mhm.
it's something I like. Yes, I really enjoy writing poetry. But
Mhm.
then I am this sort of person when I write poetry, I just want my poem to be something that captures the hearts of a reader, something that can stay forever in one's mind. So that's why I always take my time to write. And most times if I am to write a poem and I don't have enough um, time to write my poem. I have a deadline that is so short. It's something that I always have to, you know, dedicate so much time to and try to figure out how to pass this across because I try to make my poems as captivating as possible. And so I feel it's one of the challenges that I encounter in my poetry because I'm not one of those
Mhm.
people who write poems on a short period of time. I could spend 2 days, 3 days working on one poem, but I just like
Mm.
how my poems come out at the long run. And so I have always learned how to try to
Mhm.
fit into that schedule, trying to work on poems and having such a short deadline sometimes and then having a short period a long period of time. I have so much time I need to use spend so much time on writing those poems. And then speaking about generally the challenges that I encounter, well, maybe I should talk about here in Nigeria. In Nigeria here, people are not so receptive toward literature, and it's always difficult to try to market your
Mhm.
books in bookshops or to people don't like the reading culture is poor, let me put it that way. And it's one of those things that my brand Eye Opener Productions is trying to change. We're trying to alter that. It's one of the projects that we have now, trying to help to develop the reading culture in Nigeria, particularly in my state, Ondo State, Nigeria. And by going to schools and especially talking, trying to teach the girl children the importance of reading because around the world we see that female children are often they are often left behind, yes, when decisions are being made. More focus, more choices, more decisions are being made on the male child, and lesser priorities are given to the female child. And it's I am a girl child rights advocate, and it's something that I wish to alter. I am a child rights child um, um, good
Mhm.
reading culture advocate, and I'm also a girl child rights advocate. And so I am trying to inculcate those into my brand and try to alter that. And so back to the reading aspect of it, it's something that is going to take a lot of time, resources, and because this is not something that is so popular here in Nigeria, but I am a testament that it is possible because my father, my parents, and people around the world here have helped me to overcome challenges of having reading as a difficulty or so. And I am a testament, and I know that I can also help to change the world if I introduce reading to female children here in Nigeria. And then there are more liberated women, there are more wiser women around the world, and the world could be a better place. And then also I also would love to talk about my earlier stages in writing. Yes, when I started writing, then even well, let me say generally here in Nigeria, there are certain challenges. Starting from low power supply, zero to non power supply. When I have like presently, while the show is going on, my dad is running a generator for me. So most times when I have projects to work on, when I was trying to put this magazine through, it was really tough. Yes, because one, I had to spend so much time, and
Mhm.
secondly, the financial aspect. When I had to interview the guests on my show, my dad had to ensure that I had enough bandwidth, enough data. I had to get a Wi-Fi. I had because there's no free Wi-Fi here in Nigeria, so you have to get a Wi-Fi for yourself, provide yourself with data, and that has been one of the major challenges when, especially when I just started writing and interviewing the guests. I have to use fuel because there's no power supply, and most times when I interview my guests, it's always in the night time at about 12 o'clock, at about 1 o'clock in the night or early in the morning, and it's I have to use a power supply because there's no power supply. My dad has to run the generator set, but that's all the sacrifices to success. I believe my dad has always taught me that, and putting this together, that also costs a lot of fuel and a lot of data, and so it involves finances and all that. And so I'm trying to say that here in Nigeria, things are not always so welcoming for someone who is trying to reach for the stars, and so we have to make ways for ourselves, and it's cost a lot on the other hand. And so
Hmm.
generally though, I think that the support I've received from my friends abroad and from people here in Nigeria, my family, it has been great help to me because it's one of those things that makes this journey quite easier for me, and I'm grateful for that.
That's wonderful. I mean, it's you've got a wide spectrum of concerns for the world, and you're trying to find ways to bring those concerns to the front and challenge the norms that a lot of people take for granted and don't really want to confront some of these problems in the world. And I think it's wonderful that you're doing a lot of positive and work in the world, and it's really good to see. And I hope you continue to do that. Would you like to share any shout outs or any words of wisdom at the end of the program here?
Okay, so well, I would like to give a huge thanks, a very big shout out to every of my family members, my dad, my mom, my siblings, my cousins, my aunts, my uncles, my grandparents, my extended family in general. They have been amazing. And I would also like to appreciate my friends. I would like to appreciate my author friends, poet friends around the world. I would like to appreciate my mentors, my role models, everybody who has been supporting me, my followers, yes, all over social media, because without them, this journey will not be possible. They have kept me going, they have been supporting me, they have been showing me love. My mentors, my friends, my role models, my supporters, they keep buying my books, and it's one of those encouraging things knowing that somebody out there, that people out there are ready to read my works when it is released, and I'm so grateful for that. um Amazing authors like Jill Sharon Kimmelman, Zanetta Bernardo Jones, Lisa Tommy Zoniveld, Robert Bradley, Susan Joyner Storm, Annette Wenger Tapley, Safraz Ahmed, you, Mr. Dustin Pickering, um, Mr. Richard Lamoureux, Kay Bradley, Gurjit Kurgunam, and there are amazing people,
Hmm.
very amazing people around the world that I might not remember right now, but each time I think back on this love that keeps me going, I am grateful because everybody has a part to play in my life. Uh, Other people like Jeremy Dean Helder and Terry Elmazok and um, um, we have, oh yes, Tyro J. Jackson of the Sisters Rock and Rhyme, and let's see. Yes, I think that's all I can remember for now. But these people have been so amazing. They've been helping me go through this, and I am always grateful for it. And secondly, I would like to encourage people to please follow me on Facebook at Elizabeth Ogunmodede, on YouTube, Express Your Love for Literature, on TikTok, Eliza Poet, on Instagram, Eliza Poet, oh, Eliza Poet 1, and then on Twitter, Eliza Poet yes, I think. And I would also like them to please patronize my books. My books are available on Amazon. Tremendous Words, The Beauty of Words, Lessons from Grandma, uh, Ladder to the Top, the book versions. They are all available on Amazon, and they are well to do on Amazon. And I Silent Book Talk magazine, very fantastic magazine that I would like to encourage everybody to please get a copy of. And submissions are still ongoing for the second edition of the magazine. So you can please head over to www.expressyourloveforliterature.blog. That's our website, or just contact me on Facebook and show your interest in submitting to our magazines, and we can pick it up from there. So thank you very much, Mr. Dustin, for having me on the show today. A big shout out to World Inkers Network. I sincerely appreciate you having me on the show.
Thank you for being on the show, and congratulations for all your hard work and all that's paying off, and keep it up. Just keep doing what you're doing, and we'll hope to have you on the show again and sometime in the future. Thanks for watching World Inkers Network. Please subscribe to our channel if you have not already. And if you would like to be on the show, take a look at the ticker at the bottom. You can email me, Dustin Pickering, at publication.worldinkers@gmail.com. Please send a bio, a headshot, and some samples of your work to that email. And you can send us a little cash if you want to donate to our program. You have to have a little extra donation from you, anybody out there watching. And thank you so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed the program. Definitely get in touch with Elizabeth Ogunmodede on Facebook or any of the other outlets out there, and be on guard for the literary revolution coming your way. We're going to bring some more works to your living room as soon as we can. Thanks again for watching. Have an excellent day. Get to writing. I would love to see you guys on the program next time. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you.
Listen to the people. Listen to humanity. Listen to the Parrot. Parrot TV. Parrot TV. Parrot TV. Parrot TV. Parrot TV. Parrot. Listen to the people. Listen to humanity. Listen to the